Hey guys, welcome here. In this lecture I introduce you SCSS. In this lecture we'll continue and I will show you how you can create a Vue component. Let's start. Open your coding editors and let's navigate to our UploadView component. And first let's inspect template here. As you can see here, it's getting crowded by HTML. It's not so bad so far, it's still pretty much readable. There is some items here, our to-do list, that's okay, but imagine in the future we would be adding here more and more features. It will be very readable and very clear what's happening here. So what we can do instead, we can separate some features from here to separate components. So for example here, this div can be to-do list component, alright? And instead of a to-do list, we have a to-do items. So I can create from these elements here, I can wrap them inside of a Vue components. Okay, so let's start with our to-do list component. I will navigate to our src folder. Let's see here components, and I will create here a new component. So new file, and let's call it to-do list like this .vue. Now let's create here template. So let's write here template tab like this. Let's create here script. And actually we don't need script just yet. All right, so let's leave here just template. Let's go to our UploadView and let's copy all of these here, this div with the class of a to-do list, and here I'm missing one S like this. So this div with the class of a to-do list, let's copy this whole element, so starting from up here until here. Let's copy it. Alright, copy and remove it. Okay, and now let's paste it to our to-do list, to our template here. Alright, and let's move it to a left side so we can select all of this here and just press here shift and a tab, and this should indent this to a left side like this. Alright, perfect. So now we have here to-do list, and now we can get our to-do list component to our UploadView component. How can we do it? Alright, so I will import here first this to-do list. So you can write here import. You want to import here to-do list. Alright, from, and we are importing from our components folder, so dot and slash for the same folder, so our src folder, or you can use here @sign. @sign is even better. When you will use @sign, it's automatically targeting your src folder, so you can imagine you're in src folder when you're writing this @sign, and now slash, let's access here components folder, and we want to import our to-do list like this. Alright, so now you need to write here components property in your export default empty object. So under name, let's specify components. And in the components, you need to specify components you want to reference in a template of this component. So I will get here to-do list, I will import it to a components, and now I can access this to-do list inside of here. So to-do container, let's get here to-do list. Let's save this. Don't forget to add here comma after components. Let's save this, let's go back to our browsers. Let's refresh and everything is working as before, amazing. Alright, let's go back to our coding editors. And you don't need to write here to-do list with the uppercase letters like this, to-do uppercase list. You can use also different syntax. You can use syntax with the dashes, so you will separate each word with a dash, and you will choose here lowercase letters. So instead of a to-do list, I can write here to-do-list, and it will stick with this syntax here. Okay, so I will comment this out. Alright, let's save this, and you will see that everything is working as before. Alright, I will show you one more thing. When I will write here a scoped styling, so I will write here on this style scoped. Let's save this. Let's go back to our browsers. Let's see what will happen. We are not providing stylings anymore to our to-do list. Since we provided scope styling, we are applying styles only to current elements. So you can see this scope styling, we apply the stylings from this file only to elements here. But our to-do list elements are separated in a separate file, so it will not apply the stylings to our to-do list. When you will inspect your element here, so let's right click here and let's click here inspect, you will see some more data were added to your styles. So when I will inspect this element, alright, let's see, you can see here on this wrapper element, our app.view, where added this data. So data-v dash some number here. And this was added to all of your elements in app component. Okay, very interesting stuff. It was added also to your most top component in a to-do list. Okay, so you can see in our to-do list we applied also this data to our to-do list class, but we didn't apply it to all of these children elements. Okay, so this is very, very interesting. Okay, and since we are applying this special here, this identifier, we are applying only stylings to a class of a to-do list with this identifier of a data, all right? So maybe we can see it here. For example, I'm applying stylings only to an app of a data-v dash this ID. So I am scoping my stylings only to a current component. Okay, so how can I fix it? Let's go back to our coding editors. And usually in your app.view component, you want to keep your styles as globally available. So we will remove scope from here, but anyway, we can move these styles to our to-do list. So I can copy, let's see what we can copy. Our to-do wrapper and to-do container needs to stay here. So I will just copy our styles of an item and a content. So let's move them. Let's cut them from here. Let's go to our to-do list. And let's get these styles here. So I'll write here some more space. Let's write here style. All right, and let's say scope will be true and the length will be SCSS. All right, and let's get these stylings here. So I will just simply paste it down here. All right, and don't forget we need to wrap it instead of a to-do because we are targeting to-do item, not just item. So I'll write here to-do. All right, let's indent it to the right side. Now let's select here everything. Let's select it, let's cut it from here, and let's paste it inside of a to-do. All right, let's indent it to the right side like this. Now it's correct. When you will save this, everything will be working as before. All right, so you can see now you're applying stylings correctly, and now you can see our to-do list will be scoped. So when I will go to to-do list items here, you can see this data were applied here. All right, so this is scoped styling, and we can do even better right now. So let's go back to our coding editors. And I have mini assignment for you. Let's create to-do item component. All right, so in a components folder, let's create a to-do item component, and let's move to-do item from here. You can see this class here, div with the class to-do item. Well, let's move this to a to-do item component. All right. And then let's provide to-do item component to our to-do list component as we did in our UploadView component. It doesn't matter when your data will be the same because in your to-do item component you will have only walk the dog and go to forest near the zoo. So when you will provide this component 3 times instead of a to-do list, you will display 3 times the same data, but don't worry about it right now. Please, let's create to-do item component. Let's provide this div here with a to-do item to this component, and then provide component back here. So you will remove, basically you will remove all of these divs here, and you will reference here only to do item like this, and you will reference it here. Oops, my mistake. You will reference it here 3 times. All right. So I hope you understand this. And yeah, so let's start working on this. Go ahead. You can stop video. You can start working on this, and I will work on this right now. All right, so I'll create in a components new file, and let's call it to-do item. So to-do item.view. Let's go to to-do list, and let's copy this div from here to our to-do item. Okay, so template here. Let's create here to-do item. Let's indent it to left side, perfect. Let's go to to-do list, and let's remove all of this here. All right, I'll reference here to-do-item, and I'll reference it as before, 3 times. I'll get here a script. All right, and let's get here export default. So export default empty object. Let's get here components, and let's import here our to-do item. So let's import here to-do item from components. So assign to a src folder components / to-do item. Let's get here to-do item to a components. Now we can use it. And don't forget, we need to provide here also styles. So let's see our to-do item styles. We can actually now move from here. So I will remove all of these stylings from here. Let's cut it from here and let's provide it to our to-do item like this. Let's save this now. And now it should work as before. Let's save this. Let's go back to our browsers. Alright, let's refresh and everything is working as before. Amazing. Yeah, here are some errors, but these errors are from before. When I will refresh, everything is working. Alright, so that was your assignment. I hope you have been successful. If not, no worries. We are just starting to learn how Vue works. Alright, let's continue and I will show you one more thing. Let's go back to our coding editors. And maybe you are confused how I know what name to specify in an import here. For example, here to-do item I am importing, or in an app component I am importing to-do list. This name is your choice. Since we are exporting this component by default here, we can choose any name for this component. So in UploadView I can choose here name, let's say whatever component. I will copy this whatever component, I will provide it to a components. Important part is this path where I'm importing this from, and I can provide this whatever component here, and you will see this will work as before. Then refresh, everything is working. But of course, you should stay with the naming that reflects actual functionality of your component. So these are to-do list components, so I will revert these changes. This will be to-do list. I will provide to-do list component to a components property of our component. Alright guys, so that should be this lecture. In the next lecture we'll continue and I will show you how you can provide data to your to-do item, because right now we are hard coding this data, but there is a way how to send the data from your parent component into your child component. So from our to-do list to our to-do item, we can send some data and we can display them inside of our to-do item. But for this guys, I hope to see you in the next lecture. Cheers!